Welcome back to the Naval News. I would like to thank Established Titles for sponsoring today's video. Well, a couple weeks ago, some incredible footage came out of Ukraine of an uncrewed surface vessel being remotely piloted, probably through satellite communications, was used to attack a Russian warship in the Black Sea. And our friend and friend of the show, H.I. Sutton, was all over this. He had been talking about these drones weeks before this attack. So a lot of credit to him for being on top of this. And here he broke down some of the sensors and construction methods or points on this unmanned surface vessel here. And here we have some video of a Russian helicopter shooting whatever weapon at it as it goes through the water. And Russia's been very cagey. While they did confirm the attack, they certainly didn't admit to the ship being severely damaged. They did admit to a hole in the hull, which we would expect with a waterline explosion like this, and some damage to a radar array. But here we can see the ship that was attacked. We're looking at the port side of it, which is the opposite of the side that was attacked. So we can't see the hull or the damage on the side as it's being moved from one pier to another inside a port. And obviously it's being towed. Now, being towed doesn't necessarily mean that it's disabled, that it can't move under its own power, because it's simply a peer-to-peer transfer here. But here we can see that the ship clearly is not sunk. So that's good news for Russians out there. But the attack did take place on this vessel. And that brings me to the point of today's video. These uncrewed surface vessels are very capable and have proven themselves in combat already. And now Ukraine wants to produce them even faster to continue to go after Russia's Black Sea fleet with them. But they're doing it in a very unique way, despite receiving billions of dollars from nations around the world, including equipment, not just money, ammunition, as well as training for their soldiers. They are open sourcing, or crowdsourcing, if you will, a fundraiser to build more of these uncrewed surface vehicles, these USVs. And my question to you today is, how does this change warfare, and is this morally correct? And before we get into that discussion, a word from our sponsor. Thank you to Established Titles for sponsoring this video. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve natural woodlands of Scotland, as well as support a global reforestation effort. Through Established Titles, you can purchase symbolic souvenir plots of land for yourself or as a great gift. This project is based on historic Scottish tradition where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. You can officially include the title of lord or lady on credit cards, plane tickets, and dating profiles. And having that title on your dating profile is a great way to break the ice on your first date. Each title pack gives you at least 1 square foot of land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. Established Titles works with global charities like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to plant a tree with every order. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack with my link will effectively be next to my plot. It's within walking distance. We can start a subbrief kingdom. It makes an amazing last-minute gift.
Apparently, if you
address me as Lord!
Scotland, why'd you do that?
Established Titles is running a massive Black Friday sale right now. Plus, if you use my code SUB, you get an additional 10% off. So go to establishedtitles.com/sub and get your gifts now and help support the channel. All right, and welcome back. Yeah, so Ukraine a few months ago set up a website called United 24. And the purpose of the website was for people to log on and contribute individually as citizens of a global citizen towards the Ukrainian war effort. And funds for this project would be, in part, be used to build these drones. And today we're going to go over all the other things that the money goes toward. And they had this great promotional video. We're going to go ahead and play it for you here now, and then we'll talk more about the drone here at So you see the video of the drone there, a little bit of editing, I think, on that overlay there at the end was had, but it gives you an idea of what it's like to build and the cost it takes, because all that stuff is obviously very expensive, and the time and manpower put into each one of these things. And an individual can contribute some money towards this cause for this United 24 website. This, like I said, was set up a couple months ago, and it's designed to help Ukraine fund the war against Russia, because it's really a story of two nations at very different ends of the economic spectrum fighting each other. And surprisingly, the smaller one is winning, but with the world's help. And what I don't know is it okay for an individual to fund a war effort, where usually these are state-mattered issues, where states fight each other's states, and there's, rules of law that are supposed to be adhered to during laws, very much like the Geneva Convention, for example. But what kind of liability does an individual bring on him or herself whenever they fund a drone and that drone ends up being misused? And, worst case scenario, used in maybe what is ruled later on to be a war crime. What kind of liability falls on that individual? And because of that moral question that I'm proposing to you, and I have not reconciled myself, I'm not including the URL in this video for this website. It is called United 24, and if you feel like this is something you could get behind, I leave it on you to find it on your own. But let's break down what they're doing with the money here. So they want to focus on three things here. Defense and demining of Ukraine is very important. The demining aspect alone will take years once this war ends, which obviously hasn't happened yet. And defense is the part where they want the drones. And to be fair with Ukraine and this website, they don't just want your money. They really need drones. The UUVs that you may, or UAVs rather, that you may be using for photography, or you bought for a teenager to go out and fly around. Those are the types of vehicles that they can use thousands of. They say they need thousands of to perform reconnaissance and some attacks as well. So they're not just looking for money is the point. They're also looking for actual donations of equipment that you can provide. And all that stuff is available here on the website if you want to do that. Below demining is medical aid. Buying medical supplies, all very expensive. And then finally, rebuilding Ukraine. Rebuilding Ukraine is going to have to be done. It will take probably decades. Something like a Marshall Plan may even be in the works to help rebuild it a little bit faster. We will see about that, but individuals through this website can contribute to it. And to be fair, they're pretty transparent about what they're doing with the money. For instance, total collected is over $222 million right now. And that number, it just continues to go up as people donate. So if you were to donate to this website, you would be able to see where it's going. If it's for rebuilding Ukraine, you would see the number there go up. And of course, the total collected go up. Or, how many tactical hats and shoes are they buying with your donation? So there is some level of transparency here available for people who want to participate in this. And I was kind of comparing this as I wrestled with this decision myself as to whether or not this is moral or not. And, I thought back to the world wars where the United States were brought in to Europe and over in the Pacific as well in World War II to help fight wars. And we sold war bonds over here. And that was the United States way of help funding the war effort. That was just one tool we had. And these were bought by individual citizens, Americans, who, did what they could to support the war at work. If they weren't capable of serving in the military, they would serve on what we called the home front. And part of their meager income would go to buy war bonds, which would fund the war effort monetarily. Something else we did in the world wars is we needed prime materials like metals and stuff. So I remember there being big drives for donating pots and pans from your kitchen. Like, how many pots does your family really need to survive? Maybe the excess hardware that you use in your kitchen can be smelted down and then turned into weapons for use over in Europe. Well, in today's age, we've gone from pots and pans to drones. Like, if you have a small drone with a camera on it, that would be very useful for Ukraine right now. So we do have some precedents for individuals funding war efforts here. But in the case of the war bonds, it was the citizens of the United States funding the United States war effort. There was probably no restriction on people not in the United States buying the war bonds. My point is the majority of the war bonds were purchased and solicited to the United States citizens. And that's what's happening now. But in today's age, it's a global effort. Anybody with a smartphone can contact anybody else with a smartphone as long as they're using the same app to link between each other. And so it's no longer limited to just the nation. And Ukraine is kind of taking advantage of this, saying, hey, as one globe, will you fund us and help us support this war against Russia? And the votes are in. Over $222 million has been donated. But I want you to think about the escalation of this. This is really a new way of funding wars, not just nations funding the war effort themselves, but whenever you get individuals involved in mass, crowdfunding, your war effort, it could really grow to the point that where maybe you don't want it to go. Let's just take a look at this map. As of time of this recording, this is the countries around the world that have some level of conflict, from simple skirmishes to outright shooting warfare, from everywhere from Myanmar to the drug cartels in Mexico. Of course, Ukraine and the Houthis down there in Yemen. Any country looking at the success of this program could add their own program to it, right? They could come up with their own website funding weapons of war to be used. And then what is the liability on the person funding a drone that ends up striking something that's not a military target, like a hospital or a medical center, And if after that war is over, if the investigation is conducted properly and the weapon is found to be funded by an individual that committed a war crime, what is the liability on that individual? Or is there no liability? This is the question that I'm wrestling with myself, and I would like you guys to put in the comments. Is this a good use of social media? Crowdfunding warfare. I'm on the fence on this. I have not yet made up my mind. But that's my case. I'm going to leave you with words from President Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, and here's what he has to say about crowdfunding his efforts against Russia.
Dear friends, 4 months ago we launched the special fundraising platform, United24, to unite the world around our fight for freedom. United24 is an opportunity for any person from anywhere in the world to help us protect Ukraine, our people, and our independence. We ask you to support 3 very important directions. The first is defense and the money. The second is medical aid, and the third is rebuilding. By making a one-click donation, everyone can contribute to the victory of Ukraine. Today, I want to thank people from 110 countries who have already joined United24. Thanks to your donations, we have raised almost $200 million to support Ukraine. These funds were used to purchase ambulances, demining equipment, drones, and much more. All of this is already saving people and helping us to defend ourselves from Russian terror. All of these became possible thanks to you, thanks to Ukrainian and international businesses who have joined us, thanks to our ambassadors who make United24's voice louder in different countries, on different continents. I thank everyone. But the war still continues and the terror is still not over. That's why we still need further support to keep fighting for freedom. This is not only Ukrainians' freedom, this is the freedom of each individual living in the democratic world. Join the defense of freedom. Never stop protecting what really matters to all of us. Together we will win. Glory to Ukraine.